Well, Ross, obviously a big congrats on last weekend in Nashville from the pole to the checkered flag. You had such a successful weekend. So just looking back to what you accomplished on the track, what does last weekend mean for you?
It's career achievements, life goals, everything that I've wanted since I was 18 years old to compete at this level. And now to be here and to win in a second consecutive year is so challenging. And it's been well documented, the difficulties that I've had navigating the Cup Series. So to get it done, to pass those two cars that we passed, to dominate the beginning and end, and honestly have the middle part of the race where there were cars that were faster than us, make some good adjustments on pit road, and then be able to drive back by them and really control the end of that race was it's just everything. And I really don't have great words to describe it other than just I hope people can feel what I'm saying and that everything it took to get there was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, a lot of emotion on Saturday after you won the pole, a ton of emotion on Sunday after you win the race, and I feel like you had a very strong message that you conveyed post race when NBC was interviewing you and just kind of talking about what this season has been and really proving yourself. And I think a word you used was evolving. So, what has this season been like? Kind of going through criticism. And I know that's hard for anybody in any job, right? And then you get there and you're like, okay, hey, I'm still here and I can win and I can win this way. So just to kind of have that message to share with everybody, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, look, I have no idea where those words came from. I mean, I remember saying them and I watched the tape and I'm like, whoa, what is that? When I was getting out of the car, I was just thinking about, right, all my sponsors, my team, what we just accomplished, and how proud I was. And I get out and I don't talk about any of that and go down this whole rabbit hole. But yeah, look, it's been challenging to hear the criticism. I'm human, so it affects me. It gets to me whenever I'm criticized. So I've learned how to deal with it. I've learned to stay in a middle ground, not get too high in the great days, not get too low in the bad days. But you know, learning and I guess what I was trying to say was just like you're going to be criticized no matter what you do, whether it's in business as an adult or as a kid and you're on a team of some sort and you mess up, like you're going to be criticized. So I've just learned to trust in my people. And that's what I wanted. That's what I was saying was just, you're going to surround yourself with the people that you can trust no matter what, right? Through your great days and your bad days, they're going to be there for you and they're going to hold you accountable. They're also going to celebrate you and you know that it's genuine. So that's what I've learned is just like cancel out all the other noise, shut that off. I mean, I want to hear it, but then I want to shut it off and just let's go to work internally in our little snow globe and then go out and on this stage try to perform.
And obviously the fans, a ton of support from them. They were so excited when you got the win. You held nothing back. You went into the stands and shared some watermelon. So can you take me through that moment and just experiencing that with the fans that were in Nashville to support you?
Yeah, well, at first I was rolling around the cool down lap just screaming off and on the radio. So some of it was captured, some of it was most. I'd say 75% of my screaming was not on the radio. I'm listening to Phil Surge and Brandon McReynolds, and even when the radio was quiet, I'm just losing. I'm pumped, like punching the air. And then my brother keyed up. He was in turn 4 with Worldwide Express, our sponsor on the car, at their motorhome and where they were watching the race. And he's like, we're here, do a burnout. So I stopped and turned around. And that's ultimately when Daniel and Chase ran into each other. Unfortunately, I caused a crash after the race. So they can blame me for that, I guess. I'm kidding. It's not my fault. I go down to turn 4, do some burnouts, go to turn 1 where our pit crew and our pit box is, do some burnouts. And the rear tires were just about to blow out. So I was like, I'm done spinning the rear tires. I had a flat right front tire from sliding it in the burnout, and I go to the front stretch and I get out and I'm trying not to fall off the roof, and then I go up, get the checkered flag, and then I'm like, there's people, like the crowd was like, I mean, when they're all yelling and screaming and waving their hands, it's like all directed at me, right? And so I'm feeling that. So I'm like, I'm going out there where that is. Like I'm going to the noise. I want to get closer to it. So that was awesome to I don't really know why I did it. But I'm glad that I did, and got some really cool pictures and videos to really capture that, because I do spend some of my celebration with like my eyes closed, and I'm just internally like capturing that feeling the best I can, and trying to make sure I remember it for the rest of the time.
Absolutely. No, I think all of your emotions in Nashville post win came out in all the right ways. I think everyone loved to see it, loved to hear it. We enjoyed watching it on the broadcast back here in Charlotte. And obviously, this weekend, it's another first for NASCAR. You're in Chicago for the first ever street race in the 75 years of the sport's history. So, just what are your thoughts on tackling this track and what this weekend's going to bring?
Yeah, I came in Wednesday afternoon for some event dinners around the track and with NASCAR, so that we've been here for a little bit, and I've just been getting the lay of the land of the city. It's different. I've never been to Chicago, and look, the roads here are a lot different than Alva, Florida, where I grew up. So this is totally different for me, and just navigating from the hotel over to the track. I've done it a couple of times now. I'm comfortable with that. Now it's about our 12 turns. I've driven it a lot virtually, but I embraced early on just the spectacle that this will be. This will be a first. I'm really proud to be one of the drivers strapping in and starting the race on Sunday. No matter how it goes, it's going to be a success in my book. Now, do I want to score good points, maybe lead some laps, maybe have a shot to win? Of course, but no matter what, this will be a success. And last week winning makes this week a whole lot easier to take, no matter how it goes. So we're right here in the city, walking over to Navy Pier yesterday. There's just a lot of tourists and people that are not even sure that NASCAR's here, and they're going to see us. There's signage everywhere. So I hope that whether they're people are live in Chicago or they're just visiting here, they see the event happening, they come over and check us out.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are part of like this new era post-pandemic. It's like NASCAR is trying all these different things and finding ways to introduce the sport to people who, like you just said, like maybe they've never been to a race. Maybe they don't know that we're in our city. And I think I read a stat, like a lot of the tickets are going to first time, race. People are going to the race for the first time, right? So what does it mean just to kind of be a part of that chapter of NASCAR that's reaching new people, new viewers, new fans, and to be doing so in a city like Chicago?
It's awesome now, but I have to be honest. When I got the 42 car in 2021, post pandemic, and we're getting back rolling, I get the ride. Chip Ganassi calls me, and in a minute and a half, he hires me to drive this car, which, I always maybe envisioned those calls being this super glamorous thing. And it was like 96 seconds and I had the ride. It was in the first year, they went from 2 road course races to 7. And my team, now MMI, we were like, what are the chances, me not being a road course driver, that the first time we get in the Cup Series, they go from 2 to 7, like, oh boy, this is going to be a struggle. And ultimately we win our first Cup race on a road course the next year in 2022. So, it was scary at first to be a part of this new, outlook on the schedule. Look, I grew up watching NASCAR racing every Sunday, and I knew the tracks. I knew Watkins Glen. I knew Sonoma. When they announced these other places, I had no idea what the tracks looked like. I didn't know what states they were in. So I've had to do a lot of research, a lot of studying. And for this track, there is no studying. We've never done this, and we're going to be learning a lot in our first practice on Saturday.
And I want to go back to one other thing that you said post race. You said your car chief, David Farrow, is all about positive affirmations. I'm big on positive affirmations. So I just want to know, does he have one for you guys and for the team this weekend?
I'm sure he does. He doesn't. We're a funny, tough group. So he's not like giving us rah speeches or giving us lines every week. I know that about him as I've gotten to know him this is our 3rd year working together. From the 42 car, we transitioned together as a group into the 1. And nothing in particular, but I know that's what he lives by, and it's rubbed off on me. And right, my my watermelon post race was half full, not half empty. So just the mindset, right? Just not any single line, just looking at everything in the best light it could be, and making it better. We can affect our own futures by just trying to make it better. And if we get up and go to work, he's a really hard worker. And it's ultimately his responsibility for that one car to be the best it can be come race day. He takes a lot of pride in that. And so no single line, but I'm sure he has them, but he's not like forcing it on us.
Yeah,
but it's rubbed off on us.
love to hear it. All right, I know I went over my time. I'll talk with you all day. I appreciate your time. Congrats again on the win, and good luck tackling the street race this weekend in Chicago.
Thank you. It's a little luck is going to go a long way.